Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Command Core studio. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, so massive price drops are here. I mean, when a brand new precon set comes out, or brand new set of precons, however you want to say that, the cards that are reprinted of them tend to tank in price, especially ones that have either seen very few reprints or even no reprints previously. Let's jump into those cards you should be picking up right now, and of course there's a link in the description below. So let's just start things off. However, Scryfall decided to sort these. I think just probably creature, then artifact, then I don't know. Anyways, first up, Haywire Might, a fantastic, creature and removal source. A 1/1 for 1 insect. When it dies, you gain 2 life. Pay single green mana, sacrifice it. Exile target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. I mean, the vast majority of things that you want to exile that are artifacts or enchantments are not creatures, so yeah, you'll save that 1 mana off that Caustic Caterpillar essentially for that, and also gain 2 life while doing so. Now, this one's just 94 cents right now, the very first reprint outside of, it's a second precon reprint, as you can see in Bloomborough, but the first reprint was not so long ago. This one is following that up, dropping down about, a third of the price. Next up, we've got Cataract Parasite, yet another 1 mana creature. A 1/1 for 1, a single black mana. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if you control a red permanent, you may have it deal 1 damage to that player. This is the very first actual reprint of the card. The list, I'm not counting you really from Conflux, though, such a long time ago. Around $15 or so, cut down by half. So yeah, kind of like an Underworld Dreams with the requirement that you have red permanents in the deck. A very good card. Next up, Blood Artist. One that I don't know if I'll ever see the day when this is actually underneath $1 and I can use it again, but yeah, around a $3 or $4 card or so. The kind of just very well-known card for aristocrats, right? When you think aristocrats, you're like, yeah, Blood Artist. Okay, drains players. Whenever a creature dies, target player loses 1 life. If you gain 1 life, that counts any creatures, not just your own. Yay, 2 mana, 0/1. Who cares that it's a 0/1? Doesn't matter. It drains so quickly. Down to a $1.50 right now. Yeah, down from around $3 or $4 or so. It's a big savings right there. Pick them up while you can. Next up, Harsh Mentor, 2 mana in red, 2/2 human cleric. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact, creature, or land on the battlefield, if it isn't a mana ability, 2 damage to them. Yeah, I mean, this is basically a great group slug type card. Its price had been going up a little bit over time, around like $1 or $2, now down to 59 cents. And keep in mind, these prices I'm showing you right now do fluctuate quite a bit, right as the actual product is coming out and a little bit afterwards too. So the price could drop even further than that. Next up, we got Scoot Swarm. Scoot! Insect for 3 mana in green. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, make a 1/1 insect creature token. If you control 6 or more lands, create tokens, copy of Scoot Swarm instead. It's an amazing token generator that is also a game ender because that growth is exponential, just making copies of this again and again and again and again. Yeah, if you like keeping track of things, congratulations, this is the card for you. Around $4 or so, down from 6 or 7. Next up, we've got Vial Smasher the Fierce. Have you wanted a Vial Smasher deck? Yes. Cool. Get this now. $6.72, down from around $10 or so. Basically, whenever you cast your first spell every single turn, an opponent is very unlucky and they get picked at random. Deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to that player or planeswalker they control. Next up, Erixmithy's Slumbering Isle. This card is amazing. This card is huge. I mean, literally huge. It's a 12/12. Enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slump counters on it. Yeah, but it has a slumber counter on it, then it's still a land. It's not a creature. That's okay, though, because it says whenever you cast a spell, you can move a counter from it. Oh, and by the way, it's a land that can tap for 2. So this does cost 4 mana. It's kind of like an explosive vegetation if it's your commander out of the command zone. Yeah, Eddie loves this for the commander deck that is just demolishing others out there with all the big spells, absolutely. But also, of course, if you're running Sea Monster Tribal, great. Or if you just want a random spell that can also be a giant threat for you too, use this as well. Right now, 56 cents, down from around $1, $1.50 or so. Next up, Fate Unraveler. 4 mana in black. Whenever an opponent draws a card, 1 damage to that player. So yeah, basically Underworld Dreams yet again. Right around $1.70 right now, down from around $3 or so. Next up, Mogis, God of Slaughter. Yeah, we talked about group slug. Mogis loves slugging in groups that can be slugged. Anyway, 7/5 legendary creature god with indestructible for 4 mana in Rakdos. As long as your devotion of black and red is less than 7, Mogus isn't a creature. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, 2 damage up unless you sacrifice a creature. This right now is around $4 to $5 or so, down from around $7 to $8. So a big amount of savings right there. And yeah, this is a lot of pain for your opponents to endure thanks to this. So yeah, go get it. I mean, great for Enchantress decks as well that have to be Rakdos, which aren't all that many, but the spicy ones love it. Moving on, Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. This is a really good card. Star Elemental, power nuts equal number of lands you control. By the way, non-token creatures you control are forest, lands, this other types. You could definitely do some weird combo things with this. It's a very powerful thing that basically says, hey, all your things are mana dorks now, basically, but they're also technically lands, which is crazy. This is around $12, so down from around like 18 or so recently. So it's a big price drop. If you're waiting for this as your commander or a card in the 99, pick it up. An elemental, which is obviously a, it's a tribe that does have a good amount of support up there. Next up, AC, Tyrant of Gyre Strait. Hi, do you like Tatiova? Hi, do you want another Tatiova? Kind of. Anyways, a legendary serpent that costs 6 mana in Simic, but what is mana in Simic, right? You may play additional land on each of your turns. Whenever a land you control enters, draw a card. Yeah, this is the very first actual reprint of this one. Down from around $25 or so. Commander Legends was came out. All the way down to around 11. So that's quite the drop right there. If you like Simic, if you like lands, if you like drawing, congratulations. A giant serpent for you. Or Sea Monster Tribal. Moving on. Aethros, the Shroud Veil. This one's down from around $4, so down around $2.70. This is a really cool card. Basically, creatures die, you get coin counters on them, and or you get coin counters on creatures when they die, then you get them. That's what I meant to say, actually. So yeah, if you've got ways to manipulate counters, play with them, or yeah, you just want to steal your opponent's creatures, absolutely really cool thing. Or just God Tribal works as well. Next up, Hydra Omnivore, a giant threat. 8/8 Hydra for 6 mana in green. Whenever it deals counter to your opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Ow! So again, I'm not picking on you, opponent, all right? I'm spreading it around. Everyone's taking the damage, not just you. So you can't be mad at me, right? Okay, you're still mad at me. Regardless, around $3 or so, down from around 4 or 5. Next up, we've got World Spine Worm, one of my favorite cards from way back then. I mean, 15/15 Trampling Worm for 11 mana. What's not to love about that? Oh, by the way, when it dies, it pops and splits into 3 separate 5/5 worms to trample. And by the way, it also gets shuffled back in your library, so you can get it again. There is no stopping this. I mean, I guess if you exile it, you would stop it. But still, a $5 card right now, down from around $7 or so. Next up, Ren N7. A really cool Planeswalker. Does a lot of things. I'm not going to read all of them right now. That's a ton of text. Regardless, Super Friends deck, or one that works with land specifically as well. Yeah, around $5 or so, down from around 7 or 8. Next up, Professor Onyx. Yet another Planeswalker with a ton of text. This one actually does combo with that Magecraft effect, so do keep that in mind. If you're looking for all the combos on these that I'm mentioning, go to Commander Spellbook, a fantastic website. Down to around $3 or so, all the way down from like $9 to $10, so a massive price drop right there. Again, Super Friends, combo, whatever you want to do with it. Next up, Basilisk Collar. I love this card. It is so simple and so effective. Very simple equipment for one. It costs you to equip. Death Touch and Lifelink, both very relevant keywords for a lot of different things, so make sure you're keeping that in mind. A little less than $2 right now. Was around $3 not too long ago, so yeah, good drop right there. Keep dropping in price so I can use you, Basilisk Collar. I love you. Next up, Lightning Greaves, a card that's never going to be budget friendly for me, and I've accepted that. That's okay. $4.61 right now, down from around $6 or so. Equip for 2, equip 0, haste and shroud. What's not to love about that? Use your commander's ability right away. Swing with your commander right away, or any of your things. All your mana dorks basically can tap for mana right away too. And also temporarily protect things as well, or permanently protect things, but you can't target them. That's okay. Shroud's good. Next up, Wish for Soul Cloak. Speaking of Shroud, can't be blocked and it has Shroud, so again, a way to protect it and a way to get it through as well. Down around 236 if I could talk right then and there. Down from around $3 to $4. Next up, Whip of Erebos. When a problem comes along, you know what to do. Whip of Erebos, there you go, right? $7.46, down from around $12 or so. Creature control of lifelink, that's quite fantastic. And also, by the way, bring creatures back out of your graveyard temporarily, and then you can utilize them. That's quite nice. But yeah, them having lifelink is already just a great thing, a permanent thing to have. And now also, yeah, you can reanimate things too. So in reanimation style deck or a deck that really cares about lifelink, cool, utilize it. Next up, Mirror Maid, $1.77 right now, down from around like $3, $4, $5 even in some places as well. Enchantment for 3 mana, enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact or enchantment on the battlefield. Yeah, not just your own. This can be very, very good. And of course, some really cool things you can do with this one. Yeah, I love these kind of like clone, but not even just creature kind of cards. Next up, Monologue Tax, $1.77. This is probably the lowest this price has ever gotten. A $6 to $7 card. Enchantment, whenever opponent casts their second spell each turn, create a treasure token. If you have a treasure deck, cool. If you've got a deck that incentivizes player casting spells, cool. Or if you just have a play group where players are casting a ton of spells, great. You're getting a lot of value out of this. Next up, Retreat to Coral Helm. This is a combo card that also just doesn't have to be a combo card. Enchantment for 3 mana in blue, landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield, you choose one under your control. You may tap or untap target creature or scry one. Now, scrying one is very nice, and a lot of value can be had from it, but hey, untapping a creature can be incredibly broken, so definitely keep that in mind. 31 cents right now, a giant drop for around $2, $3 or so. Next up, Spiteful Visions. I'm mad at you with my vision. Enchantment for 4 mana in Rakdos. At the beginning of each player's draw step, they get an extra card. And then whenever a player draws a card, 1 extra damage to them. A lot of these extra damages, for drawing cards, Unreal Dream style cards. $1.87. Not too many reprints for this one, down for around $3 or so. Again, if you like to just dish out pain, cool, utilize this. Next up, Wilderness Reclamation. If you like to dish out mana to yourself, congratulations. Enchantment for 4 mana in green. On your end step, untap all lands you control. That is huge. You basically get just like 2 turns worth of mana. But of course, you need instant speed things too to take advantage of that. But you got that. Or like abilities to like dump mana into. 62 cents right now, down from over $1 or so. Pick this one up. Next up, Primordial Mist. I love this card. At the beginning of your end step, you may manifest top card of your library. Cool. Exile face down permanent control. Face up, you may play the card this turn. Basically, what you're going to be doing is saying, hey, cool, I get a bunch of 2/2s. By the way, there are also spells potentially. Awesome for me. 5 mana in total for this enchantment. You can utilize it in like a go wide strategy if you really want to, or like, hey, off the top library shenanigans. Quite fun to be had from there. Blink effects decks can do really good with it too. 85 cents, the very first reprinting really of this one, down from around $2. Next up, Sphere of Safety. Oh my gosh. This is uncommon that finally is reaching uncommon prices. $1.27, down from like $5 or so. Enchantment. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays X for each of those creatures or X the number of enchantments you control. This used to be cheaper than like Ghostly Prison, and then all of a sudden it was much more expensive than the Ghostly Prison. Yeah, being able to be a variable amount that they have to pay and usually can't pay means that you're never getting attacked in your Enchantress deck. So yeah, throw this thing down. It's a great card to pick up right now very cheaply. Moving on. Extravagant Replication, down to around $6 or so, down from like $10+. Enchant for 6 mana in blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of the other target, non-land permanent you control. What's your best thing in play? Cool, get another one of that. Awesome, amazing. Also, sure, do you have any like populate effects? Cool. Make extra copies of that then because you made a copy of that. It's quite spicy. So yeah, again, it does say another, but I mean, here's the fun thing. If you like make a copy of this or something else, then you have them copy each other, then you're like, oh my gosh, copy. Pretty crazy. Next up, Shark Typhoon. Yeah, another card that I was like, oh, it's gonna be, no, it's nowhere near budget friendly. Enchant for 6 mana in blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, make an XX blue shark creature token, which of course has flying, because logic, where X that spell's mana value. You can also cycle it away, but I mean, don't do that. I mean, you can do it, but don't do it. Get in play. Come on, get in play and have fun. All right, so anyways, making giant flying sharks. What's nuts about that? $1.82, down from like $3, $4 or so. Moving on. Arcane Denial. I say no spell. You get a card instead. Well, you get 2 cards. I get a card though. Anyways, instant for 2 mana in blue, counter a spell. They get to draw 2 cards. Next turn's upkeep, you get to draw 1. So yeah, a great counter spell for you. The opponent's gonna be like, okay, I'm disappointed, but like, maybe it's okay unless you counter something gigantic. And also you can draw a card to replace it. Nice! $1.60 right now, down from like $3, $4 or so. Next up, Arachnogenesis. Instant for 3 mana in green. Create X 1/2 green spider creature with reach for X number of creatures attacking you. And also fog, except for spiders. Yeah, no damage from any of them. $3 or so, down from around $4 to $5. A great like combat trick that also is a giant token generator for you. Next up, Ink Shield. Speaking of which, instant for 5 mana. In Orzhov, Brunel combat damage will be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage run this way, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature with flying. This is around $5.50 right now, down from like $10+, like $14 or so. First real reprinting, like the Secret Lair drop, kind of doesn't count. But yeah, being able to just say, oh, okay, giant fog effect that makes me an army that just can take out the entire board and I win? Yeah, that can be a game-ending card. Next up, Ponder. Do you like Ponder? Cool. Use it. It's been reprinted. $1.16, down from $3 or $4 or so. Look at the top 3 cards, put them back in the order, shuffle, draw a card. Do you like Cantrips? Cool. Use it. Anyways, Reanimate. Do you like Reanimation? This one is named after. Cool. Sorcery for a single black mana. Get a creature out of a graveyard on the battlefield under control. You lose some life. Who cares? We don't care about losing life with mana value. We're in Commander. We get 40 life. I'll lose 12. I don't care. $5 or so, down from like 8 or 9. Moving on. Night's Whisper. Oh my goodness. Finally under $1 somehow. Draw 2, lose 2. Sorcery for 2 mana in black. So simple, so effective. 56 cents, down from like $1 to $2. Pick it up now. Next up, Overwhelming Stampede. $2.29, down from around $4 or so. A great way to pump your entire team. Basically overrun, but better. Sorcery for 5 mana in green until end of turn. Creature control gain trample. Get +X/+X, the greatest power among creatures you control. That is huge. And your creatures are going to be huge too. So yeah, if you got some big powerful creatures, all of a sudden this is like, oh, I cast 1 spell and win the game. Moving on, Azorius Predation. Speaking of winning the game, sorcery for 8 mana in green. Hey, count all of your creatures your opponents control. Did you do that? Great. Was it like 20 or so? Cool. Make that many 4/4s and have them fight them. Yay! Of course, some of your 4/4s will go away, and that's okay. But you know what? Most of them are going to get taken out. Most of your opponent's creatures, I should say. And you're going to be left with an army of beasts that are like, hey, what happened? Oh, cool. Let's win the game. 72 cents right now, down from $2 or so. Moving on. Blasphemous Act. It's really good. It's like a 1 mana, 13 damage every creature, 1 mana board wipe. I mean, it costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. Typically in Chimera, you're going to have at least 8 creatures on the battlefield between everyone. $2.32, down from $4 or so. Moving on. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. I combined that, obviously. Legendary land, taps for a colorless. Pay 1 and a white tap. Put target enchantment card for your graveyard on top of your library. A great way to recur enchantments. A great card that doesn't want to take up any spot in your deck. Again, just a land spot. Around $5, down from around 6 or 7. Moving on. Reliquary Tower. Do you hate discarding cards? Cool. You have no maximum hand size. Tap for a colorless. Yeah, it's a really good card. I would say in lower numbers of, well, you know, different kinds of colors that you have in your deck. I'd say like 2 or less, typically, just for me. And for me, I like to, you know, make sure I'm utilizing utility lands properly. But yeah, if you just really hate discarding things, cool. Or if you have a deck that really cares about having no expand size, cool. Down to around, right around $1, down for round 2. And finally, Witch's Clinic, the first real reprinting of this one. Tap for a colors, pay 2 tap target commander gains lifelink until end of turn. That is huge. $6 or so, down from around $10 to $12. Yeah, being able to grant lifelink again just on a utility land, that is massive for you. Again, if you are interested in any of these cards, pick them up. Card list link in the description below. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on this one. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.